All right, so welcome to Talentlockr Talks with Kalin Ropata.
Appreciate
so
it.
Kayla's been a part of Talentlockr, and you've been endeavouring in a French journey from Australia, playing in the Gold Coast comp for Currumbin Eagles, and venturing out to France. But we'll get a little bit more from you, mate. So if you'd like to give yourself an introduction.
Yeah, easy. So I'm Kalin Ropata, of course. Actually grew up, all my junior footy was played in Melbourne. So I was a Melbourne boy, raised down there. Didn't move to Queensland until 2020 to just have a little crack at seeing what I could do with footy. Obviously, COVID kicked off, which was unfortunate, but then found a good squad playing A grade values and BRL. And then through that, got some opportunities for their cup pathways with Devils. And then, just connections. Actually found myself at Currumbin the next season, which was probably the best thing for me, was playing under Matt Guy, who we had a friendship with back in Melbourne when he was still with the Storm. His dad and my dad, and I played with his sons down there, and then probably found my best form of footy playing under him. Like just having that coach with the confidence to back in. It's unreal what you can play when you're playing confident. So managed to have a good season or two under him, and then got a Q Cup opportunity with Ipswich Jets. Played pretty much the whole second half of the season. When we went on a bit of a run, we ended up having some pretty big wins. Then the year after was set to try and have a full year in Cup. Just had a bit of a gross year with injuries, so I only ended up playing 3 games of footy in the whole 12 months, which isn't what you want and
Oh,
what you
definitely
train to
not.
do. So
Not when you've got
nah,
so many goals in your head as well.
yeah,
It's like, it's a tough roadblock.
oh, 100%. And I think that was the worst part was I'd done the whole preseason, played our first 2 trials, was feeling good. Round 1 got left out. We had like about 7 Titans come back, and then before week 2 was in hospital. So spent about 2 weeks in hospital, had 2 surgeries, took a few months to come back from that, and then came back to A grade, played a good game on the return, and then second game broke my thumb in my second tackle. So not the year you want,
Yeah.
but things happen. And then, like we've spoken on, ended up putting me on this path where I was just like, what do I really want to do with footy? And one of the opportunities was to try and use it to get overseas and explore the world, explore what footy's like on the other side of the planet. So and then obviously got talking with you and speaking with Talentlockr and sort of navigating what the pathway could look like. And now I'm pretty blessed to be playing here in Ville, which is south of France, just below Carcassonne. And unreal opportunity. Loved every minute of it so far.
Nice, mate. What a story. No, it's good, mate. Like I say, we've been tracking your journey through Talentlockr, and we're all behind you from the team as well. So no,
Appreciate it, bro.
it's
Thank
been a
you.
great journey, and obviously playing with you and knowing you, I know how much of a passionate player you are, and a good lad you are as well. So I think
Thank you, bro.
you deserve
Appreciate
what you get, mate. So good stuff.
it.
You've covered a couple of points, but just like in detail, like what's your Talentlockr story? So
yeah.
if involved with rugby league or involved with sport, like what's your Talentlockr story?
Yeah. So actually didn't really know too much about it originally. One of the boys was on the app. He might have been one of the early ones, and he got a good deal to go and play with a team in Newcastle. So he was another Melbourne boy, sort of just jumped on the app, put up his highlights, put up his information, and then like I said, got a good contract to go there. He was doing FIFO, still living at home, playing well, and then would go for the weekends, play captain's run. Oh, sorry, train captain's run and then play. So I was like, oh, okay, like I'll probably have a good look into it. And then we obviously got talking at a couple of trainings,
Yeah.
and I was probably putting it on you a little bit, the pressure, and be like, hey, bro, like, what do you reckon? How does this work? And I'm not skeptical. I'm just such a perfectionist that I need to know every sort of detail before I make a move, which is
Yeah,
probably a downside in hindsight. But I was
it's
so picky
understandable
and
though.
but I think I annoyed you probably 3 or 4 trainings in a row, and then finally bit the bullet and jumped on the app, and ended up just putting more highlights up. And I was probably a little bit even annoying to clubs where I was just looking at opportunities that sounded like me, and sending messages through, not generic, but saying, hey, like if this is what you're actually after, this is me. I'm a back row, second row, can play a little bit of middle, can play a little bit on the edge. I'm just someone that works hard and loves playing footy. So yeah, ended up throwing those messages out. Got a few bites back and replies and some opportunities that I thought could be exciting. And then, yeah, obviously this one came up to play for Vaal in south of France. And yeah, never looked back after I read that message. That just sounded like a dream come true. So yeah, that was sort of my journey with Talentlockr. And that's sort of why I've been so appreciative of you guys, was those conversations don't happen on your own. So to have an app or a group like yourselves that can allow those conversations to happen player to club, there's no middleman, there's no extra step. We can be direct. And yeah, I think that was a massive reason why I'm here now.
Fantastic, mate. Well, I think it's it's not the end of the journey either. I think it's it's on the way. So no, it's good, brilliant, mate. Good stuff. So we'll cover another topic, which I know you've been through and what you've touched on, and I've handled this myself. But how to handle adversity as a footy player or as a sports person? What's your verdict, mate?
Yeah, I think my one was leaning on my circle, leaning on my community. We have a good saying in my family: it takes a village, and I think I really relied on my village when I was going through that stuff. So, mum and dad were close when I was in hospital the first time. Mum flew up straight away, was with me the whole time I was in hospital. I have an incredible partner, and her family were unreal the whole time, constantly checking in on me. She was even getting not annoying. She was getting close with the nurses and stuff in the hospital because she was visiting me that regularly. So yeah, definitely not relying, but looking to the people around you and trying to find positives. So yeah, I think they were a massive part of it. And then I think I just always knew there was going to be another opportunity. Like it was never the end, or that sort of doubt never crept into my head that there was no more footy. I knew there was going to be another chance. I knew it was going to take some time, and yeah, I just sort of stayed with that positive mindset. Actually got around footy as well. I think that was a good one, finally getting back down to the club, just being present around the community. Like,
yeah, you see it in a different light, don't you? When you're injured or when you feel like you can still give as a player, but in a different term.
absolutely.
And for me, that came from like coaching. I got injured in a very important time in my career, and I was like, all right, you know what? Like that, it wasn't a case of I'm going to go and stop, or so. It's like I'm going to go straight into to try and reflect on what I know, just to help the next
100%.
person, to help the lads who I'm playing with, or a younger lad who might be involved. So I think that's definitely important as well.
Yeah, exactly right. I think even I found that when I actually did come down to the club, was like, there's more that you can be doing. It's like you don't just sit at home and feel sorry for yourself. Actually putting yourself in those circles around the boys. Even some of the boys, when they first saw me, were like, mate, what happened? And getting it off my chest was even a good thing, just sort of putting it out there and letting it go of it. And then, yeah, like you said, giving back to the back rowers. We had a couple of young back rows step up into those positions, and anything I could do to help out the edges or middle forwards. I think I was running up and down from the coach's pen to the scoreboard just on a game day, trying to get comms of stats and halftime chats, whatever I could do to sort of assist or be a part of it, I was trying to do. So, yeah, I think those two things combined were, the thing that got me through it all.
Nice, mate. Now, good stuff. And who's your inspiration for adversity?
Oh, inspiration for adversity.
Yeah, from somebody else. If you're made to answer first, then I can go through.
Yeah, bro. Actually, I wouldn't mind hearing how you see it.
So my my coach was the late Rob Burrow when I was in my final year of the Leeds Rhinos Academy.
Unreal, yeah.
That year we, I captained the side. Went through adversity myself in terms of, I broke my leg, I got concussed, I tore my labrum. So it was a really tough year. Still managed to play the back end and play in the final for us, which were great. Rob was such like a great role model for myself. And then obviously a couple of years later, he got diagnosed with motor neuron disease, and I think just seeing how he handled that situation himself, and getting the community behind him, and raising money, and going as far as he possibly can, and I think that's that's the pinnacle of adversity for me, and it's a case of he's in the worst possible. You were in the worst possible position, worst possible mindset, but his mindset were it were like, I'm just gonna go and do it, just carry on, and he finished off his last bit of coaching with our reserves at Leeds, and he was still the same guy. He were hilarious, like, so he just
That's
cracked
so
jokes,
cool.
and he still have his, he still had early stages of his M&D, and he were so funny. Like, he'd still make jokes and stuff like that. Yeah. And then obviously there's like he went into like a tougher place with it. But he still kept battling on, and there's a mural of him in Leeds if you ever go. It's and the quote is, in a world full of adversity, we must dare to dream. And it's like, that makes sense, and it's like, there's more to a broken thumb or a finger, or there's more to it, isn't there? And obviously on the field we get banged and busted, but it's like, I feel like there's more to handling that as well, and it can be at any point of a case of, like, you're not quite happy with what your position is, or if you're getting picked, and it's like, there's a lot more to handle, and obviously when you get injured, or if you have something else happen, or you go through that adversity, it's how you handle it, and and I think that's an inspiration. That's where I got my inspiration from, handling adversity.
I love that, brother. That's wicked. I like that. I think probably my adversity would be in a different aspect. I think of my parents and what they went through. So they were young parents to begin with. They were 16, 18 when they had my oldest brother. They had 3 by 19 and 21, and all 5 of us by the time they were 25. And I was like, when in this grand scheme of things, like exactly what you just touched on, bro, I'm like, I'm injured and hurt, but mate, I could be a parent raising 5 kids right now. They're in a new country. They're in Australia, in Melbourne by themselves with small connections, but they gritted that out, gave us all an incredible life, the one that we're grateful as, and now they're reaping the rewards of it. So I think my adversity is almost like you get what you can handle and you make it work. So exactly that, sort of what you touched on. You can look around and see all the negative, or you can try and find little wins and little positives in your day to day and in any moment, any aspect of your life, and keep adding them up. I think it's sort of like the color theory. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, where if you get told to look around the room and look for anything blue, right? And then you look around, see 5 things. Okay, and then they ask you how many things are red. And you go, no idea, right? But same aspect. If you're looking around for everything that's positive, you remember everything that's positive. You don't think about the negatives.
Come back around. Yeah.
Exactly right, man. So, I think as far as people that inspire me every day, those two are, my pinnacle when it comes to adversity. So,
nice, mate. What are your thoughts on playing sport around the world?
But I'd recommend it to anyone now. So, I think I spoke to a few people before I did it, and I always knew it was something that was in the back of my head, as like, I wanted to do it. And now that I've done it, I want to do it again. I've already told the club I'd love to come back in some way, shape or form next season. I think it just gives you another realization of what is out there. I think we get sometimes lost in our little bubble in Australia, that we're so separated. It's like Europe knows all of Europe, Asia, South America are also interrelated or interconnected, that we get sort of in our own little bubble, that we're the only ones. Then you come over here and it's like you're 10 minutes away from a train station that can take you to 3 different countries. And it's like, it makes you feel small, but then also how big the world is, that there's opportunities like this. Also, how many opportunities are out there, like Elite 2, Elite 1 could feed directly into a Super League deal. So, same as England with their pathways now. It's not be all end all if Cup and A grade aren't working in Australia. There's opportunities galore around the world. So, why not take it?
Well said, mate. I think it just like ties down to, experience, and like we spoke about before, it's more getting out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
representing yourself, getting out of your comfort zone, and I think you find a little bit more of who you are and what you can handle when you get in those
Absolutely.
situations, and you know, you can be at a club all your life, which is fine, which is that's good, but also there is more out there, and there is more opportunity, and you might
Yeah.
meet the next person you meet with that could change your life. So it's which
100%.
I've experienced, obviously moving over towards myself. So it's like
Yeah.
and you're on the same going on the other side. So no,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool to do, and I think as well you can always come home as well.
Yeah.
Like there's always that in
Absolutely.
your back pocket. So it's not the once again, it's not the end of the world. It's like
100%.
you can always go home if you want, and
Yeah.
why not live a bit of life and play? But like it's a benefit, it's a fruit of you know having the sport that you've played and you've put all that time into as well, and
Yeah.
having the opportunity to take that with you. Not many people get that opportunity either. So
Yeah.
and I,
Exactly
and
right.
I don't think it gets spoken about enough, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And hopefully with Talent Locker we'll do that job, and
Yeah.
having people like yourself, jumping on board and doing that will, it'll only get better.
Absolutely, bro. I think you're spot on with you find a little bit more about yourself. Like you're put in a different situation. You don't have that comfortability of being around that same circle, like you said, the same club all your life. You find little ways where I need to be better here, or I need to put myself in that circle, or like I'm trying to learn French. I've never thought I'd
Yeah.
learn French in my life. I
Oh
failed
wow.
both languages I learned in school,
Yeah.
and now I'm trying to learn French and even looking
Yeah.
up classes for when we get back to the Gold Coast, so I can speak
Yeah.
it better
Nice.
or have more better interactions with our players in clubs. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're
Cool.
spot on in it. It makes you want to be better, and yeah, I think that opportunity just to find a little bit more about yourself is unmatched.
Yeah. Nice. And then, like I say, if it pays off, fortune favors the brave as well. So it's you gotta get yourself out there and gotta be brave doing it, and represent yourself, represent your family, represent your name. It's like and some people may find that being pressure, like if you tell that to them, but for
Yeah,
those who are adventurous, and if you've got that need for it, then it can happen.
100%. I completely agree.
So what would your advice be for any lads playing in France, looking to play in France from Australia,
Yeah.
from New Zealand, from England, from anywhere around the world, and in rugby league, because we can rugby league players. So what would your advice be for the French
Yeah.
side of rugby
As
league?
far as over here, it's probably just do your research. I think the good thing with Val and the club I'm at was we had a lot of conversations about the area, what the community was like, what the club was like. So I'd actually spoke to them a fair bit about it prior to moving here. So when I got here, there was obviously an adjustment, but there wasn't a big difference in what they told me to what I saw. So yeah, definitely do your research and weigh up what's best for you as far as values. So if you're looking to play Elite One and try and push that Super League, then that's what you need to look at. If you're looking at a club to just play good footy and maybe way of life, living opportunity might be better. You just got to weigh up what your priorities are and yeah, make the most of that opportunity then and take those. Is I think the best thing with the deal I had and conversations I had was it made sense for me right there and there that this could be where I could go and play a good level of footy. There's opportunities to go further, but their lifestyle and living situation was safe and secure.
Yeah,
And like, yeah. So yeah, do your research. That'd probably be my one tip.
that's right. And what would your advice be to the younger generation, not on the field, off the field, as a sportsman, as a sports person? And I think you're a great person to ask this, because I do think that you do take a role model type. Obviously, I know you,
Yeah.
and I know what you like around the club as well, and stuff like that. But like, what would your advice be to the younger generation off the field?
Off the field, probably invest in your community. It sounds cheesy, but like actually get invested in stuff that's outside you. I think we're pretty narrow-minded sometimes, and if it doesn't affect you, you know, I'm not involved. But there's so many different communities, volunteer work, or even charity work that you can sort of get invested with. Clubs are always looking for people that help out, or obviously you're saying off field, but yeah, I think there's different ways to have an influence on life that is off the field as well, and you can have just a bigger impact away from footy as you can on the field. So yeah, get invested. Don't be afraid of those awkward conversations or meeting new people, and yeah, put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Nice, mate. And just as we wrap up, is there anything that you'd want to plug from yourself?
Nah, probably just grateful to you guys and the team for what you've been able to allow me to do, and yeah, every minute over here has been been a dream, eh? So yeah, really grateful to you guys, the club Val itself. If anyone has the opportunity to play here, it's an extraordinary club with some beautiful people, and I've been lucky enough to meet a few of them now and be exposed to that club and that lifestyle, and I couldn't speak higher of them. So yeah, if you ever get the opportunity, that'd be where my money would be going. I'd take it with both hands.
Oh, nice. Thank you, mate. And good luck for your final this weekend.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
4 p.m. Is that right? At Stade Albert. Is that the French?
Yeah.
Is that the right French?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't lie. The stadium still confused me.
Right. And
all I know is Carcassonne.
In Carcassonne, yeah. So if there's any French Talentlockr fans out there, then get yourself out there and watch this weekend.
Yeah.
Who are you playing against, and what's your side looking like? What are they looking like?
Really good. So both teams came out of their semi-finals with pretty solid wins. We sort of expected Palau to be the team we'd get in the final most of the year.
I saw both the scores. They looked pretty convincing. So yeah. I bet you had your hands together, licking your lips. So really, like,
I thought I was going to get an early knock, and then they put me on the last 15. I thought I was away in the showers. Ended up playing the last 10. So yeah, no, we had a good win. They had a good win, and they're the only team that's knocked us off this year. So I think we're going to look to get some payback for that one, and hopefully put on a big win for the team, because we've made the last 2 grand finals and haven't come away with it. So yeah, I think this will be a big one for the club, and yeah, we know it's going to be a hard one. They've got a really strong pack, so I think me and the other Aussie boy here, Reese, have taken that personally to match them, and I'm pretty confident in our edges as well. So yeah, should be a real good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic, mate. Well, all the best. And obviously, like I say, we keep up with your journey from Talentlockr, and I think everybody's going to be behind you, mate. So good luck at the weekend, and hopefully it's not just the one trophy this year either, mate.
Nah. I want to come home a double champ and then put a 3rd ring on with the Currumbin Eagles.
Love that. Oh, fantastic, mate. Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for jumping on, mate. And yeah, best of luck, mate. And hopefully, we'll see you when you get back.
Sounds good, my man. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, mate. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Thank you, mate. Take it easy. Good to see you again.
Have a good night, Buzz. I'll talk soon.
Cheers, mate. You too. Bye-bye.